Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Bakadash, Braknawa, 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 give us the words and the spirit of Yahweh Yahushai to teach your holy word. Baba Bashai. Shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites come to you week in and week out, prophesying to return the Most High and His heavenly Son. All praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. That belongs to the apostles out at Great Millstone of GMS. Honest to all Akim on the planet, looking at the name Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and truth and sincerity. With the brother Uriah, with the brother Kanasala, here from Great Millstone, Chicago. And as you see in the title, it says Artifacts destroys all lies against who the real Israelites are today. Artifacts destroy all lies against who the real Israelites are today. Rabbi Bitchenstein, Dr. Disappearing Mason, No Class Melonhead Malone, and the ever-growing list of scoffers are easily thwarted by the artifacts that line up perfectly with the scriptures. All right? The Lord is giving us scoffers because the Lord said that there will be scoffers in the last days. Matter of fact, we'll get it. All right. Yeah, it's a couple of them. I'm thinking one in Peter's and one in Psalms. All right. Scoofers.
I got to say.
You got it? Go ahead, brother.
This 2 Peter 3:3. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
And that is one of the things that scoffers say. But scoffers, they come with the whole kitchen sink. All right. I was watching a video that the young elder Benji retired one year in our camp and was doing a sit down with someone, and I guess some rabbi came on there and was like, yeah, these guys, they're so wrong and they're easily debunkable, and he was acting like they did just a slam dunk victory debunking the truth. But then when you go click on the video and keep the clips that he was pulling, it was bullshit. It's like he picked and choose stuff that when it was like, okay, yeah, we done, man, we ain't even going in no more. See, why you go to the scriptures? You're not going scripture upon scripture upon scripture upon scripture. Because any real man of the Lord, all we're going to do is give you scriptures. Scriptures upon scriptures. Like we started off, we're going to the scriptures. They're going to be scoffers. We're letting you know there will be scoffers. We'll give you examples of scoffers. Vocab, Melonhead Malone. All right? He scoffs all the time. What happened to Dr. Mason? He disappeared. All right? But these scoffers love to come against the real men of the Lord. If I could find a clip of that video. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get the scripture.
This Proverbs 3:5. It says, "Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." So we lean upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. All right, we lean upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and what the word says, man. We don't go off our own opinions and understanding, you know, right? We go off of the scriptures, man. And because that was told to us what to do. Isaiah, the first thing that we learn in the truth is to go Isaiah 28:9-13, you know, precept upon precept, precept upon precept. You know, here a little, there a little. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Line upon line, line upon line.
That's right. And now when you get down, when you're dealing with the precepts and the scriptures, you're going to, if you're dealing with Esau and the wicked, they're going to give you their own personal interpretations and say, oh, you're breaking it down wrong. This is what they always say. You're breaking it down wrong. But what they don't know is the scriptures are very clear. If you go to Peter, 2 Peter 1:20.
Got it.
It says what? Go ahead, brother.
It says 2 Peter 1.
Start with verse 19.
Yes, sir. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this verse, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. All right?
Keep going. Oh no, go ahead. You can break it down if you want.
Yeah,
I was gonna
man.
wait. I was gonna get the whole scammer, but go ahead.
Hey, we are the ones that's going to know that that one and only interpretation, man. All right. He says Amos 3:7 that surely the Lord God will do nothing but reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets, man. And who's the only one who could serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man? That's Romans the 9th chapter, man. All right. Only us, only Israel. And out of Israel, the true men that's preaching this word with truth and sincerity and charity. All right.
That's right.
Verse 21. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of men, but holy men of Yahweh spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit.
That's right. So he says, look, first we have a more sure word of prophecy. We know we have a more confirmed, all right, babeos, more stable, more firm, a force, all right. The so-called Jewish people, Rabbi Wittgenstein, I don't know what his fucking name is, I really don't care. And I couldn't find a video. I was about to go pillage through, a whole bunch of stuff to go find it because I really don't care. But this is in general against all people who don't believe the words that are coming out of our mouth. And as you have, the scriptures say you have to have precept upon precept, precept upon precept. That's Isaiah 28, 9 through 11, and actually 9 to 13. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept. You got to go into the etymology of words, and you got to go into ancient artifacts, all right? And you have to go into ancient historians, all right? You got to go into scriptures. You got to go into the spirit. You got to go into the breakdowns. You don't do those things which the Christian church don't do, the Muslims don't do, and anybody else who claiming whatever the fuck they're claiming they don't do. We do, so we don't care. That's why we know that we have a more firm, stable, a force, steadfast, and a sure word when we come down to preaching the gospel. All right, knowing this verse that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation is not of any or no one's own pertaining to self, private or separate. No, it's one of the most high, Yahweh, and the body. And if you're not teaching the same thing, you're full of shit. All right, I can debunk the so-called Jewish people with Exodus the 4th chapter, and about the 6th verse, it says, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now forth thine hand into thy bosom, and he put forth his hand into his bosom. Matter of fact, pass me my book bag. Bible Kushah. All right, and let's get the water. You know what I'm saying? Because I could debunk this real quick. Okay, I'm gonna do a little similitude. The Lord said that we would do similitudes in Hosea the 12th chapter and the 10th verse. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. We're gonna do a similitude. This is Exodus the 4th chapter, and the Lord said furthermore unto him, put forth now thine hand into thy bosom. Moses put forth his hand into his bosom. All right, and he said unto him, all right, and he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Bam. All right. What color is snow? White. All right. And he said, put thine hand again into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again. And he plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned to his other flesh. What's the opposite of white? Dark. They'll say so-called black. But there's nobody black on the planet. It's brown. All right. And you see other, that's in parenthetical. So that means that was added. All right. Because if you read it in the actual Hebrew, it says, bosom of him bringing forth, and from bosom of him, and behold, she was restored as flesh of him. So his flesh was restored to his original flesh. That means it was opposite of so-called leprous as snow, which is white. Okay. And so the so-called Jewish people, they can't go past there. They don't want to talk about that. As soon as you mention that, they will run. All right. But the Most High giving us a wonderful amount. Go ahead, give me Psalms. right? Because we can go into the scriptures, we can go into artifacts, we can go into historians, but those pictures and artifacts of antiquity is going to blow away uh, a lot of contention when it's with the heathens and the wicked and the enemies coming against the men of the Lord and the truth. Go ahead.
Back at Psalms 85.
Mm-hmm.
This Psalms 80, chapter 85, verse 11. It said, "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven."
Again.
It says Psalms 85 and 11. "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven."
Now, if you go to the realhebrewisraelites.com, you go to the photo gallery, you have a whole bunch of sections that go into a whole different time periods. Now, I'm not going to go through this one because it takes a lot of time to click on a page and they go all individual. Just through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, I put this page together years ago, and I have these pictures and even more on my hard drive. So I'm going to go into the pictures that's on my hard drive. But you can also go to the Real Hebrew Israelites, click on the photo gallery, and start clicking on different things. And we're just going to go through. We're not going to go through everything. We're not going to make this a super long video. I'm just giving you the fact of how easily you can debunk anything that Esau and the wicked, because they can't explain this. All right. So we go to the beginning. All right. Of course, you have some pictures that is all open for interpretation. We don't want pictures like that. For example, I'm going to click on some of these pictures. You can't use these pictures if they're like a modern day cartoon or illustration of the who the real Israelites are, because they'll argue all back and forth, because this is a reproduction in modern day times. This is not accurate. The artifacts you want to use and the pictures you want to use are pictures from the actual relics and artifacts of those time periods. So you got this one where the Lord got a dark hand creating the earth. You have the so-called black, so-called Jesus, but he got long hair. So these are different you can find on the internet, of the Lord, representing the Lord and him giving him a woman and all these other things. And, those are not going to work. Okay. What's going to work are pictures like this. I'm going to see, I think I got a couple of, matter of fact, I love these pictures, and these are some of the pictures you'll see on there, but this is not going to be able to prove it accurately. All right. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Jacob's ladder. You see the angels descending and ascending. All right. Now you can use this to prove who Esau is.
Oh,
all right, because those are actual artifacts and relics. But okay, now this you can use. Now this is reported to be Joseph with the coat of many colors. You see, he got fringes at the bottom. You see, it's a colorful garment. He has the beards and braids. That's why you see different lines in his braids and beards. Okay. This is, I believe, to be Joseph. All right. But it's definitely an Israelite, and you can definitely see that he had a color. Okay. You can use, this is how we came into Egypt. Give me Exodus, the first chapter, and the part of us coming into Egypt. It should be, matter of fact, let's see, I'll help you out too. You can start around 5 or 6, I believe, but you can jump down. It depends. But in Exodus, the first chapter shows how we became into Egypt. Let's see. Start with verse 1.
Okay. It says Exodus 1 and 1. "Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob."
So when Jacob, when Joseph came into there, and then the brothers came in. If you read the book of Genesis, and then there was a famine, and Jacob and the rest of the Israelites came in. They tell you that. Well, this is documented in history on the hieroglyphs and on the pictures. You have afros and beards, light skin to dark skin, fancy garments. All right. You have the Egyptians with their headdresses and headpieces and their little white little wraps. Okay. So that matches up with that there was Israelites coming into Egypt. This matches. All right. Now let's jump down to verse 5.
It says Exodus 1 and 5. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already.
Keep going.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
So the original people who came in, they died. Jump down to verse 8.
Exodus 1 and 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
One more.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treacherous cities, Pithom and
Ramses.
Ramses.
So when you go into the artifacts, you see Israelites coming into Egypt, and then we grew. We had afros and beards, braids and beards, waves and beards, and we grew mighty in their nation. All right. Oops. All right. And then, we had braids and beards. We came up in there, just like this is one of the actual ones on the wall. Okay. We had Issacharites, we had light skin, dark skin, all the 12 tribes. Okay. And that's documented. Go ahead.
No, it's funny because the thing is, today they are saying that we're a minority, and saying that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are different people.
All right.
Trying to keep us separate.
So, exactly. But look right here. This is Habiru, Hebrew, all right, from Ibar. And you see, that's in antiquity what the scholars and the pictures showed to be. Now, okay, now I have some other pictures about, showing the beginning of time and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to come back out of this one. All right. Like I said, I'm going to end in a few minutes, actually. I'm just giving you just a few pictures. And if I'm going to make this a series, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, I'm going to have to make I'm going to have to make this a series. All right. Because if you go back from this one and go into Egyptian slavery and then start showing pictures of Pharaoh, all right, this is a close-up of Pharaoh. Matter of fact, go to the first one. All right, this is Pharaoh holding up the Israelites, and if you zoom in on it, there you go. It's a dark-skinned Pharaoh, like Manute Bol, like all these so-called Africans are super, super tall. Over the Israelites, he had braids and beards, all right, afros and beards. All right, let's see. You have afros and beards, braids and beards. And we'll try to zoom in on that. Here you go. You see the braids, the lines for the braids. You see the beards right here, dark, brown, and light. Okay, this is an antiquity. So you ask the so-called Rabbi Wittgenstein. Go ahead and ask, Imam Farrakhan. All right, go ahead and ask Dr. Mason and all the Dr. James White vocab classroom. They run from this. All right, they don't want to talk about it because this is how you wake up your people without having to worry about them say, well, want to debate on scripture. No, well then prove me who this is. This is the Israelites right here building the pyramids. The white man said they don't know how the pyramids were built to this day. Right here's the diagram out of the hieroglyphs. Now you see these afros and beards of these men that came in with glorious garments, and now they're wearing all the same garb of their captors. Okay, that's how you prove it. You go into the artifacts, man. You go into the ancient relics, you go into the fancy garments, you go into the beards, the afros, watch them say, why does this say this is an Israelite? And now today they say it's somebody else. Okay. Now look, this is Israelite clearly. You have the afro, the beard, the fancy garment. But guess what? You got the woman. Now she could have been Egyptian or she could have been Israelite that's just kind of became Egyptianized. And here's his son who looked like what? A little Egyptian boy with a bald head and with a little skirt wrap, just as we saw in those pictures when we first came in. Like that. All right. So then you go ask them, all right, how did these prove to me who these men are? Show to me who these people are. Okay. And those are the real Hebrew Israelites. The artifacts is going to kill them. Okay. Give me surely you're turning up things upside down. And then we're going to end up wrapping it up. Because this is just real quick. I can go into pictures after picture after picture, but then we'll be here all day. Because you can go into every single time period. Go to the real Hebrew Israelites and go to that page, and you can go to Babylonian captivity, where the Lord said that the Israelites went to Babylonian captivity, and you'll see pictures like this. All right, with the Israelites with braids, beards, okay, being taken down. Right, and if you zoom in on this picture, you see the braids. Those are clearly so-called Negroes, the real Israelites. All right, that's a close-up. Braids and beards. That's who the antiquity says is an Israelite. That's in antiquity said this is an Israelite. Yeah, that's afros and beards. Killed. All right. Jehu bowing down, getting subjugated. Our kings being put in there. The Syrians marching us off. Okay. This is how you debunk them. Make them give you an answer for who this is. When the history books say Judean peasants, afros and beards, tight knit afros. Okay, not no so-called Jewish or cracker. You know what I'm saying? Braids and beards. All right. So King Jehu of Israel leading the procession, bringing tribute to Assyrian King Shalmaneser. These are in museums. All right, and they show niggas, man, big lips. All right, big noses. All right, Hebrews being sent in exile. That's why the Lord said that is exposing your ass. Okay, go ahead, hit that.
It's Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Surely your turning of things upside down should be esteemed as the potter's clay.
So you can lie, you can say what you want to say, but it's going to be esteemed as the potter's clay. Go ahead.
For shall the word say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
The Most High, you can't say that we're not the real Hebrews, like that he didn't make us this way, or the Gentiles that way, or yeah, and you're turning everything upside down what the Most High has said. The Most High is going to turn it right side back up. All right, just like Psalms 82 says, and I'll go right to your point. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Everything that you see in the earth right now is backwards, out of course, fucked up. All right, slipping, fucked up, wavering, falling away, because they're not telling the truth of who we are. All right, so Akim, Baba Bashar, go into these artifacts, destroy the lies against Israel. When you see a video against the Israelites from these different so-called preachers or rabbis or imams or scoffers, throw up some evidence and say, okay, well, who's this? What's that? And string them together. And I guarantee you they'll falter. All right. So hopefully this has been edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shabbat Kakadash. All praises and honor going to Yahweh by Shem, Yahweh Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles out in New York, the great most known GMS. And it's to all Akim around the planet, lifting up the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shai into the sincerity. That is Shalom Abba Ball.
Above the ball.